All right, so welcome to another deep dive. And today we're doing things a little bit differently. We're going behind the scenes, really kind of peeling back a curtain on how science actually happens.
Ooh, I like that. Sounds juicy.
It is, it is. We actually have, well, it's not your typical source. It's an excerpt from the Acknowledgments section of a book about sleep science.
Acknowledgement. So, like, who the author wants to thank.
Exactly, exactly. But, it might not sound super exciting at first, but trust me on this one, okay? These acknowledgments, they actually give us a glimpse, a real glimpse, into all the people who contribute to scientific progress. You know those unsung heroes, the ones we don't usually hear about?
Oh, interesting. Because, yeah, we always hear about the scientists who made the big discovery, but there's got to be a whole team behind them, right?
Exactly. It's like watching the credits roll after a movie. All those names, all those people who played a part in making it happen. And that's kind of what we're diving into today.
I'm intrigued. Where do we even start with an acknowledgement second, though?
Well, the author of this sleep science book, they start off by thanking their fellow sleep scientists, right, and their students. And that immediately tells us something really important,
What's it?
that science is rarely a solo effort, right, especially in a field like sleep science. I mean, think about it. To understand something as complex as sleep, and you've got sleep studies going on, you've got genetic analogies, you've got brain imaging.
Yeah, you're bringing together all these different types of data.
Exactly. So collaboration is absolutely essential. And, I mean, could you imagine trying to solve this giant puzzle of sleep, but every lab was just working in isolation, not sharing their findings, not comparing data, not building on each other's work,
It'd be a nightmare, no pun intended.
right? So each lab, each scientist, each student, they're all contributing a piece to this huge, complex puzzle.
And you need all those pieces, all those perspectives to see the full picture. It's amazing how much teamwork goes into scientific research. And it's not just fellow scientists, right? This author also thanks all the research subjects, the people who participated in the studies.
Oh, absolutely. And that's such a crucial point, right? Because, I mean, especially in sleep science, you need people who are willing to, come into a lab and literally sleep while being monitored, hooked up to all sorts of machines.
I can't imagine being comfortable enough to fall asleep like that.
Right. But that's the thing. Their willingness to participate, it's what makes this research possible. I mean, these participants are the lifeblood of scientific discovery. And it makes me wonder,
What's that?
have you ever thought about participating in a research study?
I haven't really, but now that you mention it, I'm actually kind of curious. I wonder what studies are even out there.
Me too. It could be a really cool way to contribute to science. But all right, so moving on in these acknowledgments, the author also thanks, kind of the less obvious folks, the publisher, the editors, the agent, like a whole team of people behind the scenes.
Oh, that's true. I don't think we often consider the role of the publishing team in science.
Yeah, but they're so essential for getting that scientific knowledge out into the world. I mean, think about it. They're the ones shaping the book, refining the arguments, and making sure it's accessible to, well, readers like us.
That's right. So let me ask you, when you think about, say, an editor, what comes to mind? What are they actually doing with a science book?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I imagine they're checking for typos in grammar, but I bet it goes way beyond that.
It does. Editors work really closely with the author, to make sure the book is clear, it's accurate, it flows well. They might suggest things like restructuring entire chapters, maybe clarifying complex concepts, adding some illustrative examples, to make it engaging and understandable for the reader.
So they're like the unsung heroes of science communication.
Exactly. And then you have the agent, right, who acts as this sort of intermediary between the author and the publisher. The agent negotiates contracts, advocates for the book's success. They play this crucial behind-the-scenes role.
It's really fascinating to see how many people are involved in bringing a scientific book to life. And it highlights how important science communication is. I mean, it's not enough to just do the research, right? You have to share it with the world.
Absolutely. And that's why these acknowledgments are so valuable, right? They remind us that scientific progress relies on this whole network of contributors, from the researchers to the participants to the publishing team, each playing their part, even if they don't always get the spotlight.
It's a really intricate web of knowledge and collaboration.
It is. And I think the takeaway here for our listeners is this. The next time you come across some fascinating scientific discovery, whether it's about sleep or space exploration or anything else that sparks your curiosity.
Take a moment and think about all the people who made it possible.
Exactly. Appreciate that invisible network of contributors. And hey, who knows, maybe it'll even inspire you to get involved yourself.
That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening.
See you next time.